presents What If? What if John Cena turned heel? What if Chyna became the first woman world heavyweight champion? What if Owen Hart never passed away? What if Magnum TA never got into a car crash? What if Hulk Hogan stayed with the AWA? What if Shawn Michaels signed with WCW? What if WCW won the Monday Night Wars? What if Vince McMahon's WrestleMania failed? What if?
What is going on there, Reflection Nights? What is going on there to the Big Vitoites? What is going on there to the Hami Nights? And it is the most popular segment of the PWR podcast here at the Hami Media Group at podbean.com. And while my man TW is looking like he's looking at the stars, wishing on a star, I don't know for what, maybe for those lotto numbers to hit, I don't know. Every time I'm doing something, he's looking one way. Every time I'm trying to do my spiel, he's looking another way. Every time I'm doing my spiel, he's under construction with something. You're going to hear noise. You're going to hear pockets of noises. You know, it is just God, I just heard a thump. Jesus, goddamn Christ. He does it. I don't know if he does it for the Reflection Nights, but he does it to get the goat of the professor, but neither here nor there. Welcome to the most popular segment of the PWR podcast, the What If episodes, because Big Ray loves it, Tien Coupon loves it, Greenpeace loves it, of course, Christopher Paul Bruce Windham loves it. We know how all the Magnificent Seven members, they love the what ifs. And we get what if comments on the YouTubes when A-Track Brown, the slowest motherfucker in the world, will upload the what ifs. But it's neither here nor there. But before all this stuff, before all of our diatribes, I must introduce myself because I am vain like that. I must introduce myself because, again, I have an affinity. I have my vanity and all that stuff. I'm the most effervescent one. I'm the most scholarly one. I'm the most affluent one. But most importantly, I am the glorious one. The only objective man in this IWC, YWC, PWC, maybe probationary, Jimmy, but PWC punditry. The only objective man in this humming sphere. The only objective man in the WWE universe. The only objective man in the AEW Mark Tar centric world, whatever the case may be. The Professor Chabelle Cruz. And I'm not here alone. No. I can't change the future. I can't change the course of history of wrestling all by myself. No. I gotta bump off to somebody who was in the business himself. The man who has accumulated the knowledge, the psychology, the wherewithal, and he knows the Mark Tard logic even better than the professor himself. He is the conservative liberal, the liberal conservative, dum-dum doing its own, and the man that's holding Arn Anderson's television title around his waist. Because I won that debate. If you check on the archives, we need to hear no there. Woo! Probably wonder how you doing, my friend.
It's funny you would lead with that because I am always fair to fair. This is the Tully belt.
We're not doing that again. It's over. The debate is over.
Not named IC title. This is the Arn belt. You ready?
I'm ready.
Because I proved not only was Tully the greatest world television champion, I proved that Arn Anderson is the greatest NWA/WCW World Tag Team Champion. And I went and got some little Arn swatch, if you will. It's a little beautiful little belt.
That's a Tully belt. That's the Tully belt. You did it in reverse. But again, we're not doing debates. It's over. It's over and done with. Let it go. Let it go.
This looks a lot better on camera. It does in person. I can tell you that. It looks sharp. I mean, it looks good in person. But it looks pretty sharp on the screen. But I know Big Ray loves when I show off my new stuff. So
I love the NWA tag team belts. Was that all the noise you was making? Was that why you was
No, but wait, there's more.
Oh, God damn it. I thought we retired the TW unboxing. You don't do it anymore.
I don't know if I ever showed you this one.
Okay. That is the Usos.
Yeah, that's not an exclusive. This one is.
And he's holding a Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior Funko Pop.
WrestleMania 6 action with the Warrior. It's only the second Ultimate Warrior Funko Pop.
That does not look like Hulk Hogan, though. That looks like the Hulk Hogan imitator.
Roddy Hogan.
Yeah.
I know him. He's an ice cream truck driver.
Oh, really? You got an Undertaker and Kane Funko Pop.
Fanatics U exclusive. Kane sold out right after I bought him, and Undertaker sold out before I even knew it was available, and I had to buy it off eBay for double for what it cost. But I know it'll be $100 at some point, and I didn't want to pay for that then.
Do you got room? Or
three of them.
Do you got room, or are you gonna make another shelf?
So over in the corner there, where I have my Ultimate Warrior shrine, I have Funko Rock Pops, and I think they're gonna get bumped from this room, and I'm gonna use the space that I have there to put more WWE stuff there.
Remember,
there's only 3 of these. Warrior, which was GameStop, and now Taker.
Wait a minute! Don't you have the Silence of the Lambs well? You know, it puts the lotion in the basket well.
No wells.
Okay, I'm just making sure. You know, we're transparent here at the PWR podcast, but neither here nor the damn reflection.
I have a question for you.
What's the question?
I was watching Monday Night Raw from last week, or could it be almost 2 weeks ago from whenever this airs. And they did a commercial for one of the Rivals episodes, and it was Team 3D versus Hardys versus Edge and Christian, and I thought, none of them are with the WWE. Dudley's kind of, because they already are in the Hall of Fame.
Legends deals, they're Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Right, but they showed Christian getting interviewed, and they showed the Hardys and Edge taking bumps and stuff, and I'm like, that's weird that they would do that one when none of them are currently there. Like, Bubba just got removed from Impact's roster thing.
Yeah, but then they always have that Legends deal. I know Devon does have a Legends deal. I don't know if Bubba has reinstated his Legends deal.
Yeah, they have, because they have action figures coming out of them soon. That's what it is. They're already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they're already in the Hall of Fame, but I think they reinstated Bubba's Legends deal if he's doing that again. So neither here nor there.
What do you mean reinstated it? They let him out of it so he could go wrestle again?
You can't do a Legends deal. You can't have a Legends deal and take dates. It's privy on that. That's the stickler of a WWE.
So that's what happened with Jarrett when Jarrett was wrestling.
You can't wrestle. You can't take booking dates. You can take autograph dates, but you can't take booking dates. So that's the stickler. And Bubba Ray does wrestle on the indie scene sometimes, and he did that a lot for TNA, at least this last run. But again, neither here nor there. You're so stoic. Are you mad? What's going on here? He's not mad, Reflectionites. He is intent because, quiet is kept. He is carrying the show right now. He's going to host the show because he said, Professor, I want to do this what if. And I said,
it's already.
No. Shut up. I'm being transparent to the Reflectionites. We're going to go right now. I'm being transparent here. TW slid into the DMs, no homo, but he slid in and said, Professor, I want to lead this what if because this is what I want to do because I have thoughts. I have, goals I wanted to change wrestling history for the better. And I said, what do you want to talk about? If the floor is yours, and TW, this is a TW picked what if episode because I got the DM receipts, but neither here nor there. But TW, we are doing a very, I don't want to call it complicated what if, but I think within the realms of our what if history, TW, every time we've changed the course of wrestling history, we have taken a certain scenario, right? And then we've maybe booked it for a year. Maybe we've booked it for 2 years. We have changed the course of wrestling history and went chronologically, according to where we were doing certain what if scenarios, if you will. So, but this one is complicated because TW said we got to do the Big Ray moniker from the intros. And I said, which one? He said, what if Chyna was booked to be the first female WWE World Heavyweight Champion? And the professor's like, yes, it is a quandary. And he is holding up a Chyna action figure with the Winged Eagle belt. Reflectionites, that's for the audio Reflectionites. So TW, before anything that we'll get into these scenarios, because again, I think this will be the most complicated what if, because I think we can actually go into many parallels within the wrestling history of the Attitude Era. There's no specific way, because in hindsight, Reflectionites, let's be real. Within the Attitude Era, TW, within the Vince Russo, Ed Ferrara writing history, if you will, TW, Vince Russo was booking for ratings pops. He was booking for rating segments. He was booking for water cooler talk the next day on Tuesday at the offices, or if you're in high school at the cafeterias and all that stuff. So actually this scenario should have happened during Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara's writing history, if you will. And I'm surprised they didn't pull the trigger on that. So what say you about that? Why didn't they? Number one, it's a two-part question for you, TW. So the floor will be yours to kind of ponder everything. One, why didn't they pull the trigger? And two, was it a mistake not to pull the trigger? Maybe it's a question rolled up into one. Maybe, I don't know.
It was not a mistake. No, that's first and foremost. It was not a mistake. But the first thing is, I don't exactly remember when all these things happened, but I can tell you that for sure, I don't think will ever happen now.
It's happened now. What are you talking about?
WWE?
No, I'm just saying that for a woman to take the male title, it's already happened.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you it's never going to happen in WWE. It did absolutely nothing for Impact for Tessa Blanchard to win the world title. Nothing. It did not make them get on the front page of the news. It didn't make them trend on TikTok and Twitter and X and Facebook. It did nothing. And all it does is make the problem of, okay, how do we get it off of her now? And didn't they just strip her of it? Because that's when COVID happened or whatever.
They stripped her of it, and then there was some racial legalities, if you will. So we don't want to get into that.
Right. But it did nothing for Impact at all. And what I would say to you is this, at least, even if this would have happened first, I think it would have happened after. The laughing stock of the world was when they didn't just do it once, they did it twice. Was when David Arquette became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. When he did it, and when Jay Leno did it. And didn't Russo do it? Didn't Russo become?
No, Jay Leno was not the World Heavyweight Champion. Russo was the World Heavyweight Champion.
What did Jay Leno do? Help someone win it?
He just armbarred Hulk Hogan, and then wrestling aficionados said that was the death of professional wrestling. I
just knew he did something. So basically, putting the belt on Arquette, basically just dead. WCW is dead. I mean, I know NWO happened after that, right? But I think because they put the belt on him from the
before NWO. That was before NWO.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but that's when they were about to die, and then the NWO brought them back from that, right? So, if you already see what the negative effect was of putting the belt on David Arquette, and Russo putting it on himself is just secondhand Vince McMahon putting it on himself. It's not any better or worse. But David Arquette won that title just almost single-handedly ended him. And if you were to put a belt on a woman now, it's a catch-22. Nyla Rose could do it, and everybody would be like, all right, whatever. But just a straight-up woman beating, and even if you did it in a way where the guy got screwed, he never even laid a finger on the girl, or vice versa, somehow she's got to lose the belt to someone. So now you had the predicament of making a guy and a girl wrestle an actual match where they start out where you think the world we live in is going to be okay with a guy beating the piss out of a woman. There's a reason GCW and all these other indie feds can do it, because no one's watching. The second you put that on a TV show or a pay-per-view, it's over. It is cancel culture time. You could book something where a girl whooped his ass.
Can I push back a little bit? Because I understand where you're going with, but I think you're kind of avoiding what Chyna represented, especially in the 90s. You're avoiding the Attitude Era. And again, that's why I said I think a lot of people said they were surprised that Russo and FRR did not pull that trigger, because it was the perfect era to do it. It was the perfect time.
It was the right window.
There was the right window to actually pull that trigger, because number one, Chyna, I think she was 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". She was strong, stocky, and all that stuff. But also on TV, TW, at the height of, let's say, the window, which was 99 and 2000 respectively, Reflection. We're going with the realism here. We'll do our what if scenarios in a second. But again, I'm trying to go with the realism here, TW, for you, because again, you was the Detroit heavyweight champion. You was doing 6-pack challenges. You was busy. I know you was training hard and all that stuff. But I was watching this. 99 and 2000, Chyna was at the phoenix of what she was doing in that ring. She was, one of the popular people, along with Stone Cold, The Rock, DX. She was a marketing, tool for Vince McMahon to use and exploit, and a hashtag Playboy cover for cash cow too. But I'm just saying, hashtag also if there was Twitter. But again, she did Playboy and she did all that stuff. But again, neither here nor there. But there was a time. But in the ring, TW, we cannot deny this. There was something about her in the ring, believability. She visually, in 1999, 2000, 2001, if you was a wrestling fan, male or female, watching Chyna in the ring, and she did it in 99 against Jeff Jarrett, you looked at that, maybe for the hardcore historians, like maybe Jim Cornette and stuff like that, that's an insult to your intelligence and all that stuff. But for the new fans, the new casuals, the new Attitude Era fans, they looked at that, they looked at Chyna against Jeff Jarrett and said, you know what? I think she could do it. I didn't say she can beat him. She can beat the piss out of Jeff Jarrett. She can wrestle circles around Jeff Jarrett. Don't get me wrong. But again, as the fan, when you're looking at it in your fandom eyes, you gotta suspend disbelief, right, TW? So there was that moment, that split second of maybe she can beat a male wrestler and become the champion of the world. What say you, TW, about that scenario?
Yeah, you got to refresh my memory. When she beat Jarrett, and that was when he was holding them up for money too. That's what burned the bridge.
I understand, but you're going with the semantics of logistics. I'm just talking about this.
I'm saying I gotta refresh my memory.
I'm trying to
have a match, or was it a screw job?
It was a match. It was the match.
He hit her, and she hit him.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's back when I had to pay for a pay-per-view and I wouldn't do it.
It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick match. No disqualification. All that. The guitar was used and all that stuff. They protected both people in certain ways. And then after the fact, when Jarrett took the loss, he was on Nitro the next night. Again, that's the logistics. When I'm asking you for the fandom part, and you remember the way she looked and the way she carried herself, you couldn't. Well, again, you're the wrestler, so I guess you'd be like, nah, it's not good for the business. I'm telling you this from a fandom standpoint, that it looked believable that she could hang with the boys. I'm not saying she could beat the piss out of them. That's what I'm just saying. So why didn't they? That's why I'm just saying, why didn't Russo and Ferrara pull the trigger? She could have won the title in a fuckery way. She could have won the title, let's say, and we'll have scenarios, maybe a battle royal per se. I'm just saying. You would not have taken that scenario, TW?
How does she lose it, the IC title?
Well, that was with the I believe the Latino Heat love triangle.
Yeah, he snuck it from her, right? Like rolled up.
He fucked her over. He fucked her head over and then and pinned her and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all you can do with it. Because now she's going to get a shot at another world title or a world title. And then you had the problem I don't think she ever won another woman's title after that, right?
Yeah, she did.
So here you go. If she wins the men's title, world title from somebody, then loses it, then every single woman she wrestles from that point on, she has to beat them.
Okay.
Otherwise, if the woman beats her, now that woman should say, all right, give me my title shot. And none of them are her size. Nicole Bass, maybe. She's garbage, right? So you're not doing it with her. At least Chyna could wrestle, somewhat.
So then I don't want to put words in your mouth. So this is the way it sounds like the way you're interpreting it from me, because she's Andre the Giant in comparison to the women of the women's division. Yeah. Nothing looks believable on that end. So it needs to be clusterfucks, fuckery, distractions, all that stuff for her, and even to lose the women's title. So it's it's almost a handicap because of that aspect of the women's division that she then you have to that carries over into maybe want her to do the intergender matches.
Because if she wins the world title, why would she ever go back to the women's division? She just wouldn't. She wouldn't, and then she would never win. She would just get beat by men all the time because you're not. First of all, you got to get a guy willing to do it. I'm still stunned that Jared did it. I'm still stunned he did not show up, but he got his money and then he put her over. Like, okay, maybe that's why they let him come back so many times, is because he lives up to his word. He does it. But a lot of dudes ain't losing to a woman. It's not happening. And I would think it's now you got little scrawny punk kids that are wrestling that just one step higher than a backyard wrestling federation who would lose to women and think they were burning bras with them or something. You would have people doing it for that reason. But back in 99, it wasn't that far removed from the carny business, and you ain't going to get a lot of guys who paid any dues that are going to be willing to do it. You're just not. And like I said, if you put it on her, now you got to get it off of her. And you got to get it off her without making some dude look like an absolute savage beating a woman. Even though she's fighting back, there's plenty of domestic violence cases where the woman swung first. And she's going to lose in the end 90% of the time, unless she's the abuser and it's a little skinny dude who's letting the Precious knock the shit out of him. That's a different conversation altogether.
But to be fair here.
To be fair.
Let's say for the window, right? 99. We were a couple of years removed from What's Love Got to Do with It, with, Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. We remember the scene in the limo. She beat the shit out of him. She beat the shit out of him.
Reenact it with Rihanna.
But she beat the shit out of Lawrence Fishburne. She held her own. She got an ass whipping. She took an ass whipping, and she got an ass whipping. So it was in the realm of possibilities.
She's the 1 in 10 that lived to fucking celebrate that. The other 9 get murdered for their attempts at doing that. Violence is not the answer. Run, get the hell out of there.
But it's like the little giant said. There's that one time.
Yeah, that one time at band camp. But here's my other thing. I have always, even though I'm telling you, I don't think it would ever happen because of our society. I have always wondered how many Marvel movies, how many Viking TV shows, how many Star Wars doesn't really count because it's generally they're fighting with a weapon like a lightsaber. But how many movies do you see where a man and a woman fight each other? It's all the time. But people, if you did that in wrestling, someone's getting their panties in a bunch. It's gonna get attacked by somebody. And to answer your first question, why didn't they? That's why. The fear of the backlash of having a dude smack a woman around on national television. It's just frowned upon.
Well, I guess maybe with the progressiveness of people's mindsets, because in wrestling got progressive in the 2000s.
You can only do it if she said, I identify as a man. If that's the only way you're doing it and not getting attacked by someone.
Some women took ass whippings in the indie circuits.
I know, but no one's saying it. If a tree falls in the middle of nowhere, there's no one around here, does it make a noise?
Yes, it does.
Women wrestling indies.
It reverberates. It reverberates. It's vibrations. But anyway, neither here nor there. So again, it's a very complicated what if reflection, because again, because TW, other ones that we've done, we've booked it. It was easy to book it because we could book it for a year. But here's another quandary, and we have to look at this, and then again we'll do our what if scenarios, and then you'll have one and I'll have one too. But in the quandary of the Attitude Era, because it also dawned on the professor, if we really think about booking, I mean Vince Russo, Vince McMahon, and Ed Ferrara, let's say they booked for Austin. They booked for The Rock. Maybe they had a 6 month to a year plan for Rock and Austin, they had their thoughts, see where they go from, SummerSlam to WrestleMania, all that stuff. D-Generation X, yes. Austin versus the game, yes. You go for your high on the card, storylines. But in the Attitude Era, everything was very, very, very microwavable. You know what I mean? Some things lasted for a couple of weeks. Some things lasted for maybe a week itself. So within the realm of it, that's why I said why. For me, I thought of why didn't they pull the trigger? Because I don't think even if she did win the title, she might have won it on a Monday Night Raw, TW, whatever fuckery. And I'm not going with the scenario. I'm just putting the hypothetical out. She could have won it on a Monday Night Raw on Monday and lost it the next week on Monday Night Raw. Just because SmackDown wasn't just there yet.
That's before SmackDown?
Yeah. Remember, this was going before SmackDown even debuted in August.
Nitro started before SmackDown?
Yes.
I mean,
Thunder started.
I meant Thunder.
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
What the hell you got? A blanket?
I'm freezing, dude. I'm in the furnace room. It ain't coming on. I'm freezing.
Man, TW, you are not gonna make it in the Ice Age, man. You're just not. But need to hit another. But I'm gonna ask you that question because you always throw me off. You either are fixing something, you're looking at something, and now you got a blanket and like, God damn it, whatever. But like I said, they didn't pull the trigger because it didn't have to last long. It could have been a week. It could have been. They could have hopitated it. Yeah. They could have hopitated it. Why? Again, for that question, why didn't they pull that trigger even for a ratings pop? What say you, TW? Again, is it still the same answer? Because no man is going to allow themselves to allow Chyna to beat them and become the world champion?
I think they should have pulled the trigger. I think if Jarrett doesn't leave, he would have been the perfect guy to challenge her, kind of like Rude challenged Warrior for the world title after he won it because he beat him for the IC title. And Jarrett could come in and go, that's it. I gave you a shot at my IC title. You got to give me a shot at that world title, and then put her over again so she could at least have a defense of it, right? And then have Eddie steal it from her the exact same way he did the IC belt, right? And you hopitate it just so you can say in the annals of history, they had a woman world champion once. They should have done it because I think they missed the opportunity to ever do it again. Because like I said, I can't even when they tease it. Who was it? Was it Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble that took everyone's move? She took an RKO, and people ate it up.
Took a 619 and all that stuff.
Yeah,
she took a spear.
Ate it up, and you ain't seen shit even remotely close to that happening since. Because I guarantee you, someone came and said, "Whoa. What? We just had 9 guys beat the shit out of one woman. We can't do that ever again." So that's. I think there's just too high risk for all these corporations that think they gotta tiptoe and not do things because they're afraid of sponsors pulling out, or they're afraid of the sponsors, themselves. So I think the window passed. So I think if they were going to do it, they should have done it with Chyna. Again, Rhea, as awesome as she is, she's not Chyna, right? And Nia is, God bless her, and this is going to sound very mean and inconsiderate, but she's Yokozuna if she's a guy. You know what I mean? She's not.
But those are those are the believable enough.
Yeah, not beat Rey Mysterio. You don't think she's going to beat even Tommaso Ciampa? You don't think she'd beat, right? Because she just.
Are we talking Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley? Can beat Rey Mysterio, for believability's sakes. Rey Mysterio, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest. You could do that stuff. You can do that.
Ain't none of them beating Damian Priest, dude.
I'm just saying.
You need Tyler Bate. My man that loses to everybody. What's his name? JD McDonough. He might. Is that his name?
Tozawa.
Yeah. But that ain't world title. So you're not putting him in world title matches.
Well, you never know. I'm just saying you could have done that for Chyna in that time frame. But now, with that being said, because we had to take that question, Reflectionites, we had to take the realism out of the way and kind of give it that answer. We had to give it that finality. So now, TW, are you ready for the what if scenarios? Because again, you're the one that wanted this. I'm doing what you've asked for. Don't give me that look. Do not give me that look. Yes, you did. You did ask.
You're
I got
avoiding my head injury because I don't remember ever doing this. But
well, you were.
I gave you my what if. She wins it from Jarrett. He disappears, and like right then and there, where do you go from there? Like you need Jarrett.
We're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it right. I know you're going with Jarrett, but again, the best scenario reflection nights and TW because of the rise. Let's say the rising popularity. She's doing the spots, in the corner, being in the corner of Triple H, where she punches out, the corporation. She punches out Vince McMahon. All that stuff, and everybody's seeing all that momentum. The best scenario would have been to protect everybody. Because like I'm thinking about you, like you're talking about, what man is going to accept certain scenarios? The first scenario, which is Exhibit A, Reflection Nights, would be the Royal Rumble scenario. The title is on the line. I'm not saying for the number one contendership, TW, because I know you've been like, what? Nah, Chyna doesn't deserve the WrestleMania spot for the main event. So let's say the title, you would be crowned the WWE champion at the Royal Rumble 1999, 2000, 2001, whatever scenario it is. Because again, if you look at it from this standpoint, the 99 winner was Vince McMahon. The 2000 winner was The Rock. The 2001 winner was Stone Cold Steve Austin. But they worked their way to get to the WrestleMania main event. So with those 3 years, TW, the best year for Chyna to actually win the Royal Rumble would be 1999 because Vince McMahon won it. But again, that's circumstances for the Austin McMahon rivalry and all that stuff. So TW, the Royal Rumble scenario, that protects every man there because she could win while two guys, let's say Austin and The Rock, are the final two fighting each other in the corner and all that stuff to see who's going to become the undisputed heavyweight champion. And then who comes from not from underneath the ring, because that's kind of like heelish. She wasn't like a chicken shit heel. She's an in-your-face heel. She's an in-your-face tweener. So when she takes out somebody like the Big Show, if you will, Reflection Nights, because you got to give her some status too. That's the way it looks like for me. This is the way I would do it, Reflection Nights. Let's see how TW would book a Royal Rumble victory. I say the final four would be Big Show, Chyna, Austin, and The Rock, while she does the unbelievable, the impossible by taking the Big Show out. Then she just sneaks over while Austin and The Rock are working on each other at the under corner. She just does the two. She pulls them up, pulls them out, and then she becomes the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, TW. What say you about my scenario? And then you book it your way for the Royal Rumble way.
It's perfect. What you do is you have Austin and Rock away to the side, and you have Big Show. Maybe he's going to do something to her, and she reverses it, hip tosses him over the top rope, and then falls down and rolls out the other side of the ring, like in a corner. Or, like when people would run and you duck and like flip them over the top rope. You can have her from exerting all the energy it took to lift the Big Show over the top rope. She fell and rolled out of the ring, and everyone forgets about her. Matter of fact, you do that with 5 people, and then.
But wouldn't that look kind of chicken shittish?
No, if she threw Big Show out and then collapsed and fell out of the ring, but under the rope, and then you got a third guy in there with Rock and Austin, where Rock and Austin can beat him up and throw him together, and then it looks like Rock Austin is 1-2. People have forgotten.
So you want a fifth one, like the final 5. So let's say then the fifth person, let's say, would be Mick Foley, hypothetically.
You want someone like a Slappy, like how when the Warlord got in the ring, turned around to pose, and when he looked back, he got clothesline over the top rope, something like that, but not that, because you're not having number 30 come out to get eliminated like that. But what I'm saying is just like someone
Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon should be one of the final 5.
And then The Rock and Austin can come together to go, let's get rid of this idiot, and then embarrass him while Chyna is over there with Big Show and tosses him. And then when they see that she rolled out of the ring, they both together, one holds the rope and just tosses over Shane. And then the two of them circle like on the video game where the camera resets and now they're looking at each other. And everyone's going to forget Chyna because she fell out. And then Shane gets eliminated. Then those two do whatever. And then they're about to throw each other over. And then she gets up, looks, runs in, and dumps both of them out. And everybody wins.
That could work. I guess I have no qualms. I don't have no issues with that. So, again, to me, I'm trying to think about you, TW, because you're trying to protect the guys because, again, it is an egocentric business. So again, do the guys have that same thought process, or they're starting to get progressive enough to say, well, maybe it could be believable, but again, a chick trying to win, no, it ain't happening. But again, you remember those jokes, TW? People said that she was a trans, so a dude is still winning it. So again, I'm going with what people were saying even in the '90s. Reflection, I'm not making a joke. It's actual factuals. People thought she was a tranny anyway, so neither here nor there. But it is a nice scenario that there has to be maybe. I was going with the final four. You did a final five, so I guess
just for a distraction, just to give her time to roll out of the ring and people forget about her.
Mm-hmm. How about this? I mean, let's say it this way, right? Again, because I want to keep it with the Royal Rumble because again, it's one of the safest scenarios. Let's just say I understand what you're saying, where she's out of the ring and then they forget about her.
Yeah,
but if you let's just say,
wait a minute, you even have Eddie Guerrero come out and slap her around and wake her up and tell her get back in the ring.
He wasn't there yet. If we're doing '99, he wasn't there yet.
Oh, I didn't know he wasn't there yet.
If we're doing 2000, yes, he was there. But let's keep it. Well, let's just keep it.
Triple H. Triple H can come out and wake her up.
Or what? Okay, Triple H is fine. But let me ask you this, because I want to keep it in the Royal Rumble scenario. Because again, if she's gonna become the undisputed champion, what number would have been the perfect number for Chyna to draw? Because again, do you want her to start, let's
29.
say
29.
You want her at 29.
You have her 29 and you have Big Show 30. So 29, you're like, yay, she's got a chance. There's only so many people left. And then 30 is Big Show, and you're like, boo, she's not getting Big Show out of there. And then does.
Okay. You don't want her starting like 1 through 5.
You want her as close to fresh as possible to eliminate Big Show. Otherwise, it looks like she goes 30 minutes and still can throw a Big Show out of the ring. You need to make it look like she's fresh. As a matter of fact, you might even want Big Show to be in earlier so he's tired, so she's not throwing a fresh Big Show out.
Or you flip it. Why not Big Show number 29 and Chyna number 30? Or is that just too predictable?
Yeah, 30. That could work, because then everyone like, holy shit, it's Chyna, because 30 is a big deal. But like 29 is the one that I think most people have won at, like winning with number 29. Like 30's got like 1 win or 2 wins total.
Maybe 1 or 2 wins. 30 is not a very lucky number. But again, I don't have the statistics reflection in my head right now. But the reason I'm asking the number is because, again, do you want her to, let's say, create that legacy? Because I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying, because let's say hypothetically she did the 1 through 5 and lasted maybe 50 to an hour. I know you're looking at it like, nah, that wouldn't work. That's why I'm asking, why would not have worked? Because again, if
you do that to someone that you're trying to give the rub to, like all those years, like where Kane broke the record for setting people out, when Roman set the record for throwing people out, and Brock did and Braun did, none of them won it. That was their win, was throwing out Diesel. That's what got Diesel over, was just tossing people out and waiting for the next guy to come out.
But they didn't win it. Yeah, I get it. Right. I understand you.
Otherwise, it's too much. Then it looks like you just run roughshod through the whole roster. You threw everybody out, and then you won on top of it.
I'm not saying that she needs to throw out like 10, 11 people. I'm just saying, like, if she starts 1 through 5, TW, she just lasts. Maybe she eliminates maybe 3 people, maybe 3 or 4 people. Luckily.
But the earlier she's in there and the longer she's sticking around, you're almost letting people know she's winning. That's why she's still there. You want it to be a shock that she's in it. Like, I wouldn't even announce it. 29 was my thought, and then again,
technically it wouldn't be a shock, because sometimes, remember, when the pay-per-view started, you knew who the 30 would be participants would be there.
That's why I said 29. She comes out and people are like, whoa, and thinks she's got a shot because everyone's tired, and then Big Show's 30, right? Like, to make it look insurmountable. And then again, Big Show can get in there, and Rock and Austin can tune him up so that he's weakened for her to toss him out. And like I said, it has to be he's got her going to throw her out, but he's showboating, or do kind of like when the guy pins somebody and pulls their head up to not get the 3 count. You do that kind of stuff where he could have tossed her out anytime, but he was having too much fun with it, and then she reverses it, tosses him out. She falls to the ground, rolls out of the ring on accident, not like she rolls out to hide. She falls from throwing him out and then rolls out too. And then, like I said, Austin, Rock now throw out Shane. They're doing whatever. And then someone comes out and wakes her up and goes, "You're still in this. Get in there. Get in there." And then she wins. And that would make the crowd like excited, like, oh yeah, we forgot about her. She's laying on the floor. She blew her load throwing the Big Show out.
Okay, so let's kind of like put a bow on this first scenario, the Royal Rumble scenario, because again, she wins. She's the undisputed champion. Who would be the perfect 1999 or maybe 2000 WrestleMania opponent for her?
I don't even want WrestleMania. I wanted to lose that belt by WrestleMania. But the very first thing that should happen is Vince McMahon should be like,
well, technically, WrestleMania is in March or April, so there would be a buffer pay-per-view. So you want her to lose it at Payback or Backlash or something like that before WrestleMania?
Yeah, because what you do is immediately on Raw the next day, Vince comes out and goes, nah, ain't gonna have no woman champion in my company, blah, 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 and send Shane to be the one to take it from her and her beat him. And then, you know what? Fuck it. Make it WrestleMania, because that's where Vince wanted anyway. And then make Mania Vince saying, all right, Shane, you failed. I'm going to take it from her. And then have Vince beat her for it at WrestleMania.
Oh, wow. You really want to go with the McMahon part of it?
Yeah, because you're protecting everyone else. Those two, it benefits them to do the job. It does not benefit Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Kane, or Undertaker to lose to Chyna at all.
Okay. But because that's why I said there was a buffer pay-per-view before. So it was like,
and you beat Shane there. You have her beat Shane at that one?
Almost you want her to win, let's say Backlash or St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and then go into WrestleMania and then fight a McMahon again. So it would be Chyna versus the McMahons run from January.
Because they don't want a woman to represent their company as world champion. It's easy hate. Easy heat.
So basically, what you're saying, TW, from the Royal Rumble scenario, you can have her be a 4 to 5 month champion and then lose it in fuckery.
Yeah.
To a dude, to a legit dude, maybe Big Show or Triple H or something like that.
No, I wanted to lose it to McMahon at WrestleMania, and then somebody comes out and beats Vince at Payback or whatever the hell. You could have it be Triple H. You could have him come out there to defend Chyna's honor because Vince embarrassed her or something, you know. And then Triple H takes it from Vince. But yeah, I could see her beating Shane and beating Vince, and then but then you got to have her lose it to someone legit. And again, not only are there guys that won't lose to her, there's guys that won't wrestle her because they know hitting her is not going to bode well for them with you know the public outcry from it. Nobody wants to be the guy smacking a girl around, not in public anyway.
But remember, like I said, you might think I'm joking, but people thought she was a tranny. Again,
I get it, but we're not talking about the fucking nerds with the neck beards that live in their grandma's basement with Cheeto dick. I'm talking about Joe Schmo on the street. Everybody. People with common sense are gonna be like, yeah, this whole watching a woman get beat up. Like, how many times have you seen like someone like Daniel Bryan just getting beaten? You're like, all right, dude, stop it, enough of this. Randy Orton when Brock Lesnar.
I understand you, but here's the quandary on the business end, TW. Everything you're saying from the wrestling aspect is true. Again, you know, I understand it doesn't look visually good for a man to beat the piss out of a woman. Yes, I understand that. If this was 1935, yes, I understand. Most men would be like, yes, let's do it. Take your ass back to the kitchen and all that stuff. I get that. I understand that. But with this 1999, 2000 attitude era, and then we have the, you know, cable explosion and all this stuff, you know, how don't you want to milk it? Her wearing the belt, her being an inspiration to little teenage girls and all that
with it, and there was a public like positive reaction to it, heck yeah. But just know inevitably that positivity is coming crashing down when she finally loses that belt to a dude.
But does the gamble outweigh the risk? That's what I'm saying, because maybe you're trying to get more female fans into the fold, right? For marketing purposes, for money purposes. Again, if a 13-year-old girl sees Chyna with the belt and maybe have a nice established run. I'm not giving the number, TW, just for semantics purposes. A nice established run that a girl sees her with the belt. She's on the Jay Leno show. She's on the David Letterman show. She's on Regis and Kathy Lee and all that with the belt, promoting WWE, just promoting women's evolution and all that stuff. Again, does the gamble outweigh the neckbeards, if you will? That's what I'm just saying.
Nobody cares about the neckbeards at all. No one does. They're nothing. They are the squeaky.
You hear that, neckbeards? You hear that, neckbeards? We don't care. We don't care about Shibata and Bryan Danielson. We don't care.
Do you know who cares?
The
A
neckbeard.
fellow neckbeard with a different opinion. That's it. They just argue with each other. It's infighting. And then they meet in person and they fall in love with each other. And they run off happily ever after to cheer for AEW. But at the end of the day, it's risk or reward. It's not gamble or reward. The gamble is going to be a risk or a reward. But like I said, I think if it got public endorsement or support, then you run with it. You run with it. But inevitably, you have to figure out, okay, who's she going to lose it to? And it's got to be someone that's okay with death threats. It's got to be someone who's okay with never being liked for a long, long time. Because once he beats a chick, people are going to be like, you're fucking evil. And I mean, I would have her lose. Like, not screw job. I would have her lose to where it's like a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it explains why she never wrestles for the men's title again. Because you can't do it twice. You cannot do it twice. And then you run the risk of this. Do you have her defend that title against a woman at one of the WrestleManias?
Who knows? I don't. That's
a whole other thing. You got a woman defending the. You had that first. Remember that first ever women's pay-per-view, all women's matches, and they ain't never had one since. That's how many people wanted that. But you have that where the main event is a female world heavyweight champion, men's title, defending it against a woman, and you will get every answer you need about how many people buy that pay-per-view. And if no one bought it, you're losing that belt the next night, and you're never putting it on a woman again. I just don't think. I think there's more female fans than people realize. But even back then in '99, I still think it was 90% male that are watching it. And sadly, a lot of the dudes watching it back then, guys like you who like ECW, it was TNA. It was not why you watch wrestling.
Yeah.
It was a nice side dish of some eye candy, and then I'm about to watch Tommy Dreamer beat the shit out of a guy with a cane. And so
I'm not disagreeing. You're actually right.
I don't think it would have legs. I don't think it would have legs. I think, if they say Brett didn't draw, if they say Shawn didn't draw, Chyna's not drawing. She's not bringing new eyeballs to the product. And if she does, then you run with it. I just don't see it happening. Tessa Blanchard is a perfect example. She wanted a time post Me Too where if there was ever going to be an outpouring of support for a woman to be the world champion of a men's division, it would have been then. And it wasn't. It just wasn't.
Right.
And no one's gone back and tried to do it again.
But our scenario, TW, remember, there was momentum. Sable had her thing that she did against Mark Merrow at a WrestleMania. So, and Chyna was just an imposing figure on TV every Monday night. So was the perfect opportunity to pull the trigger. So the Royal Rumble scenario, I give you props, TW. Again, you're the one that wanted this, and you made it make sense. You gave her a run. You gave her more months than I even fathomed here. So the Royal Rumble scenario actually is probably the best and most logical scenario. But TW, it is a what if. So to me, what would be another safe way for Chyna to become the heavyweight champion of the world? And I got 3 letters for you, TW. TLC. You have the belt up on the up on the rafters, and you have maybe a 6-pack challenge, and Chyna is one of the 6 contestants vying for the title. So that would be another perfect scenario. And I would book that for maybe SummerSlam, SummerSlam 99, SummerSlam 2000. That's a great gimmick match for her. And then because of what you said about her, let's say, issues with Vince McMahon, her issues with Shane McMahon. And again, Shane McMahon had a posse. He had that Mean Street posse. So again, it's a safe pathway to get to the TLC match where she has to overcome Joey Mag's Reflectionites. She has to overcome Pete Gas. She has to overcome Shane McMahon. And then she overcomes maybe a special match on Raw to become the last participant in the TLC match. Do you like that scenario, TW?
Yeah, I like any way where it's not her just pinning a dude's shoulders to the mat or tapping him out. Other than you could have a match where someone has it and is reluctant, like will not hit her and tries sneaky roll up. Like I think Eddie did that. He just tried rolling him up, whatever. Yeah. And then you have someone distract the guy, and then Chyna rolls him up. So you don't really have a competitive match, if you will. So the TLC match, the problem with it is, though, that is one of the most horrific matches. Like, you talk about matches that take off years of someone's career. I'd say that one is in the running. Like, they talk about Elimination Chamber doing it. I disagree. Most of the Elimination Chamber stuff is in the ring anyway, with the occasional spot where someone gets pushed through the glass or dies off the top of the thing. But it's not everyone doing that. It's one or two spots of that. The rest of it is just a regular wrestling match inside that cage.
But again, I'm saying, I'm trying to think like you, with the respect of the men, that says we have to have a scenario that's kind of believable, but also protects the men in the scenario too. So TLC popped in my head.
Right. No, that's a perfect way for her to get it. But what I'm saying is everyone in that match takes some kind of hellacious bump. And I guess what you could do with her is remember the one, can't remember, I think it was Edge. Someone did the thing off the top of the ladder on the Edge when he was on one of them ladder scaffolds where they made one ladder. And the person, Jeff Hardy, he senton bombed him. And then both of them were never seen or heard from again. They got carted out. They were not in the match ever again. You could have that, but Chyna misses. So no one's ever hit her. She's only put someone on a ladder. So there's really not any kind of physical dude versus girl violence. She misses. And then everyone does their thing. And she recuperates from the miss, looks up, runs up and grabs the belt. But then you still are left with the same problem. How do we get it off of her?
First of all, I'm trying to put it on her first.
Right.
Forget about the part. Remember, we're booking it right now.
Your first question is, why didn't they do it? It's because they have to do it. They have to have a plan to get it off of her too.
Oh, wait. Okay. Since we did the Royal Rumble where she won it, right? Yep. She did her shit against the McMahons to WrestleMania. Reflection again. I'm thinking off the top of my head because this is the TW pick episode. Right now, she's already thwarted the Authority. She's already thwarted, Shane McMahon's Mean Street Posse. But again, they got to get the belt off her. So now she loses it. There you go, TW. There, I got it for you. She loses it at TLC. It protects her, and then with all the stuff you're talking about, she could take a hellacious bump off the ladder. She could take a hellacious power bomb on a table or the chair, whatever the case may be, to protect her in that loss. I thought I was trying to protect the men in the match so she could win it, and she can be on that ladder. She rips the belt down, but it could go both ways. You could protect her losing it with the fuckery too. I'm just saying.
Right, but you're still having to have a man put hands on her. This is the problem. Because otherwise,
open your mind, TW.
Dude, society makes all of us. You can't do nothing anymore without society. Look at comedians. I'm happy comedians are starting to say, fuck this PC correct stuff, and they're starting to make jokes. Look at that. I think his career's over already. That Matt Rife guy makes one stupid joke about a chick having a black eye in the kitchen, and they come for him. The same group of women who objectify this man to make him popular in the first place, then turn on him because he made a domestic violence joke that really was harmless. Like, it was funny. And now you got a bunch of comedians just going, They're taking the gloves off, and they're doing what they used to do in the 80s and 90s, which was make fun of shit that needs to be made fun of. And until our society gets knocked back into the Stone Age.
But that's the beauty. But wait a minute, TW. I must push back a little bit. That's the beauty of the wrestling business. That's the beauty of the wrestling fans. Even though we're toxic and, all that stuff, the tribalism, the toxicity, and all that stuff, sometimes even the worst of trolls, even the people who raise the flags of AEW and WWE, sometimes there is that common bond. There is commonality. We could find commonality with trying to getting an ass whipping from a dude. I'm just saying we could find common ground. You can't see that?
You'll get sympathy for her, but the guy doing it to her will be ruined. People liked what happened to Nia Jax because she was a heel. Right? And I think people just don't like her, right? They think she's a nepotism situation where she's related to someone. That's why she's there. She fucking hurts people. I don't know if she still does. But people looked at it for her as like karma, right? Like, but here's the thing. Every one of those guys took care of her. Nobody hurt her. Everyone took care of her. I'm still stunned it happened. I cannot believe it happened. But it was the perfect storm where, like, she wanted in there, and she got in there. She found out.
Hold up. I understand TW's political commentary right now. I understand that. But let's go with the what-if scenario here. Yes, it is.
I don't know if it's political. It's social commentary.
There you go. The social commentary of TW. But this is what if. Fuck social commentary. Fuck the left. Fuck the right. Fuck this is right. Fuck this is wrong. This is our show. This is our world. Our world says that Chyna either wins the TLC or loses the TLC. TW, book it your way. TLC.
There you go. We got it. Wins it at the Royal Rumble. Defends it against the first pay-per-view against Shane. Defends it against Vince at WrestleMania. Loses it at TLC right after that.
Who's the people in the TLC? So this way it protects Chyna. And the scenario.
Shane and Vince.
You can't have I can't have it.
Shane or Vince.
How many people you want? I don't want Shane or you want 6 people in the TLC match, right? Shane and Vince take up 2 slots.
I said Shane or Vince. You really can't do both. But hear me out.
Okay.
She beat Shane by himself. She beat Vince by himself, who was supposed to be doing what Shane couldn't do. So now they're both in it with her. And they say because that's how they're going to succeed. But then neither one of them win it. Someone else wins it. And so they didn't get what they want in the fact that they didn't become champion, but they also got the belt off of her. So, again, Jarrett's gone.
Do you want a heel to win the TLC, or do you want maybe Austin to get the belt back?
It has to be a
or
heel.
The Rock to get the belt?
It has to be a heel because you're taking it from Chyna, whether she's the one losing it or not. People are going to boo that Chyna didn't overcome. So it has to be. Jericho would be perfect.
Okay, let me ask you this in the what if scenarios. Not Royal Rumble. We already did that. So she has to be a babyface to be the champion to win it for the sympathy. She can never be the heel, the monster heel. It will never work that way. You can never see her beating the shit out of The Rock. You can never see her beating the shit out of
no chance. No chance she beats either one of them two. No chance. Even cheating. Like, because first of all, those two wouldn't hit her. Those guys, you talk about protecting your brand. Those two are already made men. What do they gain from smacking a chick around?
Steve Austin already beat the shit out of Deborah McMichael, so he can just take it out on. I'm just saying.
It's allegedly.
There's court documents, so I'm just saying, whatever. But again, that would be 2001 Steve Austin. But again, neither here nor there. I digress on that one to reflectionize. But again, the scenario there, so she has to lose it. Yeah, again, the scenario, but it has to. But reflectionize. I guess me and TW are in agreement. You have to keep it gimmicky. The Royal Rumble is gimmicky. The McMahon war, the corporation kind of angle is gimmicky. The TLC is gimmicky and all that stuff. So it cannot be a straight one-on-one because we're not there yet, Reflectionites. Even in our what-if scenarios, we are still, delving into, the realities of that time and the realities of society itself. So, it took until maybe the 2009 TW, and I'm being nice for the indies to start doing the intergender stuff. And then when it got on TV, Lucha Underground really notoriously did it weekly. So I know you didn't watch Lucha Underground. I did. And they made it as believable as possible. But some of those matches were even as fluky and stupid looking too. So,
and all those guys are smaller than Adam Cole, so it's fine, right? It's just you're not doing it with The Rock and Austin and Kane and Undertaker and anybody of that size.
I'm just saying. So with that being said, Reflectionize, let's just do one more kind of scenario. Again, we did a Royal Rumble. We did a TLC. So what would be another, I guess we would have to fast forward with the best gimmick match left, Elimination Chamber. It would have to be 2002. I can't think of Hell in a Cell.
You actually have to get pinned to get eliminated from that. So she would end up being smacked around by dude and pinned.
And she would have to she had to go through the cage and all that stuff. She would have to take some bumps on that hard metal railing on the side and all that stuff. So you create empathy, you create sympathy, and then when she gets that win, or, with that being said, TW, maybe, because the best way that people always book things is like, well, who was in the 2002 inaugural Elimination Chamber? RVD, Shawn, Triple H, Booker T. Will infuse Chyna as the fifth one, and Y2J. So that actually works. It's safe. They're not big, heavy dudes, you could say. So she could pin Jericho. She could pin RVD. Shawn Michaels will take the win. He was coming back, so he was already born again. He would actually do the job. So what say you, TW, about that scenario for 2002, the first ever Elimination Chamber match, and Chyna infuses herself in there because
can't do it because the whole idea of that match was it was the most barbaric match in the history of pro wrestling, and you can't do it for the first time and then throw a woman in there with it. It almost looks like you're throwing her to the wolves. It would have to be the second or third one, and she's studied it and she knows what she's getting herself into. But to do the first one, she would absolutely have to lose first. Now you can have it where she loses her belt.
But you know what it is? I think you're not looking at it I think you're looking at it too intensely in a different scenario. I'm thinking this is, again, what if, TW? Because, again, let's just say we did 99. Let's say we use that 99 precursor, right, TW? 99 Royal Rumble, she wins. That's luckily. But she's already gained some traction with having, title defenses. She's already gained some traction with that legacy, and she's fighting dudes. So technically, theoretically, TW, she's already having wrestling matches with dudes. So it cannot be out of the realm of possibility that we already into 2000. Let's just say she's already abandoned the women's division. Somebody else is the queen of the women's division. She's just fighting dudes from 99 to 2002. So I don't think it's out of the realm of believability to me, in my opinion, that once we would get to an inaugural Elimination Chamber in 2002, that we've already have seen her work. Her resume, if you will, TW. She's already fought dudes. She probably already fought Chris Jericho. She's already fought Triple H. It's not about a win-loss record. I'm just saying she's fought them. Whether she wins or loses is flight shit, because, again, that's more booking apathy to me. I'm just saying she's already built up a rep to get to 2002 that people would say, all right, Chyna's the first female in that Elimination Chamber, and the World Heavyweight title, you're crowned the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion for Raw. She can't win it in that scenario if she's already built a resume?
Yeah, but now you're going to have her beat 5 other dudes. Now we've run out of...
Who says she has to pin them? She's only going to be one guy. And other guys can eliminate each other.
Yeah, but she still outlasted 5 dudes. We're trying to get her over without burying one guy, and now we're going to have 5 guys. On the marquee, it's going to say these 5 people versus her.
If you remember, wait, hold up. Again, if you built like you protected her in the Royal Rumble where she was 29 or 30 in your scenario, the Elimination Chamber, there's a lottery too of entering. She could be the last one finally to enter, and there might only be maybe 2 or 3 left. So it's not out of the realm of believability that the two men kind of like eliminate each other, and then she comes in and cleans it up. I'm just saying.
Fair.
I
just think that match is the most far-fetched one of all because it's such a barbaric match. And that first one, they killed each other in it.
Well, I think more barbaric would have been Hell in a Cell one-on-one. I mean, they only did one kind of like 6-pack Hell in a Cell, and they never did another 6-pack Hell in a Cell ever. They only did it once. And
they can't do it because they got Elimination Chamber. They can't.
But I'm just saying it's not because in the Hell in a Cell. Remember, let's say I'm not using the Hell in a Cell. I'm just saying that Hell in a Cell 6-pack Hell in a Cell. The Undertaker threw Rikishi from the roof to a truck, to a plow truck. I know you were still wrestling. Again, I'm trying to give you the logistics.
I remember that.
Oh, you do. But they were on the roof.
He fell backwards.
You don't want Chyna on the roof and then Undertaker choke slamming her onto a truck. That's already that's what you're talking about. That's a cardinal sin. You don't want to do that to a woman. I got you. But at least the Elimination Chamber, she's the last one in to come in, and then she cleans it up. I don't see any fault for that. It's still believable.
You can do it quick. You could have the guy who got pinned right before she got in there be the reason the guy she pins loses because he doesn't go out after he lost and he stays in mad.
Well, okay.
But again, then she's got to lose it. We always end up at a place where she's got to lose it.
But now, if we're, again, like I said, she already has a resume from, let's say, 99 to 2002 to get to that scenario. In 2002, with the brand split, Shawn Michaels could beat her. Chris Jericho could beat her. Triple H could beat her. The reign of terror could have happened and all that stuff. I get you. I can understand that. So I can't, anybody could beat her, and any fuckery Chris Jericho could have been the world heavyweight champion and beat Chyna. She would have had her greater. She actually had programs with Chris Jericho for the IC title when she was the IC champion. I'm just saying it could happen.
I don't think Sean's wrestling her because I don't think he wants his kids to see him smacking a chick around in a wrestling ring. That's what I mean. It's tough. It's tough to get guys to even get on board with that. And it's not a disrespect to the women. It's for respect. It's just you don't want that look.
All right, but let's separate your feelings about this with the booking of Elimination Chamber. Again, I gave you the 6 people. It would have been Chyna, Booker T, RVD, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Y2J.
Yeah.
How would you have had her win it? Besides her being the last to enter, what would have been the best?
RVD and Jericho are perfect for her to pin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Triple H could get screwed by RVD or Jericho, and then Triple H helps her beat him to win after he's already eliminated.
Okay.
Like a little tip to that. Problem is, Triple H was a raging heel and he was the champion. So it would almost have to be him. Actually, I changed it. I changed my mind.
Okay.
Shawn, because he beat Triple H in the SummerSlam, loses to Triple H there. And then when Triple H grabs Chyna to manhandle her to win the match altogether, Shawn can be like, super kick him. And then Chyna can pick him up and put her in a move. Put him in a move and win the belt from Triple H. You keep Triple H heel, you put the belt on Chyna. Shawn looks like the hero helping her win. Everybody goes home happy.
See, no women's group against you. No men saying that this is the Triple H is a pussy for this. You just booked it. Everybody wins. It was a win-win scenario from TW. He separated the realism of society, social commentary, with the booking of What If. That's the beauty of TW here. This was his choice. This was his baby. I wanted TW to bring out the best, and I think he did. And with that being said, there's nothing left. So I guess we'll put a bow on it. So TW, I'm going to hook you with a wild card. For TW purposes for the scenario of, let's say, the hot period of Chyna, which is technically 98, 99, 2000, and 2001. That's basically logistically her 4 hottest years. Which year, if you remember certain scenarios, would have been the perfect scenario for anything to happen for her to become the WWE Women's Champion? That's the way I want to close it. What year would have been the perfect year?
Shit, it probably would have been right away in the beginning when she was a heel and she was with DX, and they could have been part of the reason she was, right? Like, helping her as a heel. But other than that, the stuff with Eddie Guerrero would have been the better time to get it, because that would have been
2001, late 2000,
that would have
early
been
2001.
when she would have been good to be the hope for the little girls of the future and all that. So babyface run 2001, heel run when she was basically Rick Rude after Rick Rude quit.
98 would have been the perfect time as a heel. 2001 would have been perfect as a babyface to be the WWE champion. And with that being, we close. I can't believe we got minutes on this. We did an hour. We did an hour on TW's pick. This was a TW picked episode. This was not the professor. The professor was stumped. I'm being transparent. The professor was stumped. I had to go into the laboratories and really think about the scenarios here. That's why I had to do my due diligence here. TW was like, I got this, professor. No doubt about it. I already got this. This was already locked in. But anyway, we close on this What If episode. What if Chyna became the WWE Heavyweight Champion? What we're going to do next week, TW? I don't know. We might do another episodic. We might do, well, I don't think we'll do a movies. We might do a rivalries. We might do a spotlight. We haven't done the spotlight in a while. Maybe untapped potential spotlight. I don't know. But again, I'll keep you on your toes. Reflection X, I'll keep you on your toes. And TW, give out those socials so we can get out of here.
Cold. I can't feel my feet. All right. The Pro Wrestling Coalition Network sponsors us at PWC Network at podbean.com. I think they're on probation again, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Hameen Media Group at podbean.com, as well as at channelattitude.com. Our show's on X at PW Reflection. You can get Big Ray on any social media app at Big Ray Hernandez, and every Wednesday he's on the Next Level podcast live. You can find me on X and Instagram at TommyWonder19. Also on X and TikTok at The Tommy Wonder. Snapchat is Number Wonder. Facebook.com/Tommy Wonder. And you can find Big Vito and Noel at Big Vito Brand on TikTok. And you can watch the early release Reflection videos. I think we're having trouble with that one, but when it ever gets going, at Big Ray Hernandez on X to watch the video early.
Sometimes, it's up to Big Ray, but sometimes, the memory is big on the video stuff. So he has to condense it. So, he does his due diligence, Reflection Night. So if you have an X account, it will be available on the Xer, sometimes on a Friday, sometimes on a Saturday. So just check out Big Ray's Xer account. And you can follow me on the Xer at PWSPRF. That's PWSProf. And if this gets uploaded by that slow-ass 8-Track Brown, this will be on the PWS YouTube networks. Follow my brothers in arms, 8-Track Brown, the dirtiest of the city, at the number 8 TRAC Brown. And of course, the host of the Wednesday Locker Room, Billy Ray Valentine at Obi-Wan You Know Me. And for that, I'm the professor. That's the cold motherfucker over there from Detroit, Mr. Dum Dum doing its own, the conservative liberal, the liberal conservative. I see like the smoke coming out of his mouth, the chills coming out of his mouth right now. Tommy Wonder saying good night, and we'll see you next time here at the PWR Podcast at the Hameen Media Group at podbean.com.
Peace. And nobody noticed my hat has Professor's favorite flavor on it.
I can't even see it. Oh, hell no. Fuck you. Fuck you.